Good morning, everyone. My name is Chris, and I want to talk about reasons why people choose to retire early. As many of you already know, I retired young, I retired early, and I get asked by a lot of people, why did I choose to retire? And so I want to discuss that here. So, the first reason is financial independence, also known as FIRE. Many people choose to retire early, and with the FIRE movement, sometimes they retire from a job and like maybe half of the year they work, and then the second half of the year they choose to do something different, like maybe traveling, spending time with family, going on different adventures or whatnot. And then also you have the FIRE movement where people save up maybe $1 million and they live below their means and they live off that $1 million for the rest of their life. And then also you have the windfall, a large inheritance, lottery win, or successful business sale could provide enough financial security to retire early. I don't have any experience with that. I've never won the lottery or anything like that, but I would imagine if you win $1 million, most people could retire comfortably off of that. So I could see that. Burnout. High pressure jobs or demanding careers can lead to burnout, causing someone to reevaluate their priorities and choose to leave the workforce. So I worked for a company called Michelin here in South Carolina for about 5 years after I got out the military. And while working for the company, it was the company itself, there's nothing negative that I could say about Michelin. The management was like management at any company. You know, you had your good, you had your bad, but the benefits that they offered, like I don't think that I could work for, other than the military, I don't think that I could have worked for a better company than Michelin. The benefits, the pay. The only thing that got to me was the constant repetitiveness and the swing shift of the job. Like, so we would work day shift for 2 weeks, and then we would switch over to night shift. And when I was younger, night shift didn't bother me. Being in the military, working night shift, it was fine. But I felt like the older I got, the more difficult it was. Plus, I had kids, so it took me away from being able to do things with them in the evening time. So I got burnt out pretty quick. Health issues. A serious illness or disability might force someone to retire early, even if they hadn't planned to. And that was with me. I served 13 years in the military, deployed, and on one of my deployments, I got injured. And on my second deployment, they sent me home early and offered me medical retirement, which is how I was able to retire at 30 years old. Uh, Career change, entrepreneurship. Some people choose to retire from one career to pursue a completely different path, like starting their own business or pursuing a passion project. So when my wife found out that she was pregnant with my oldest daughter, I was at the time working at the prison, and I started a janitorial company while there. It started out as a part-time thing just to earn extra income. But once I found out she was pregnant, I pursued it a little more difficult. I pursued it a little bit harder. I pursued it a little harder. And I was able to attain 2 contracts working for the state. And that allowed me to generate more income than I was making at the prison. So in return, by the time my eldest daughter was born, I was able to leave the prison and do the janitorial full time. That allowed me to spend more time with my daughter and my wife. Stay at home parent. Okay, so that leads into that as well. One parent might retire temporarily or permanently to focus on raising children. This is more common when children costs are high. So yes, when I left the prison and I had my janitorial company, at the time my wife, she worked a regular job, day shift, 8 to 5, 9 to 5. And the janitorial, we only had to clean 2 buildings, and the companies themselves, they were very lenient. They didn't care what time we clean, as long as we clean by midnight. So they worked one of the buildings was 24 hours. So like they had two shifts, one worked day shift, one worked night shift. The night shift got off at 7. So long as we cleaned before the new shift came back on, they didn't care. So sometimes we would clean at 3, sometimes we would clean at 8. But as long as the building got clean, that's all that matters. So that allowed me to stay at home with my eldest daughter when she was a baby and raise her and take care of her. And I did that for a few years while my wife worked. Simple living. Adopting a minimalist lifestyle and significantly reducing expenses can enable early retirement, even with modest savings. So right now I'm retired. I receive a retirement check from the military. It's not a lot. It's it's a decent amount, but it's not like anything life changing. But we do live a minimalistic lifestyle. So, and we've actually done that pretty much our whole relationship. So like when we first started dating, when we got married, instead of having a grand wedding, we just went to the courthouse, got married. We had a reception at some cabins, pretty cheap, wasn't many people there. And instead of a honeymoon, we used the money that we were given from getting married. We used that money to furnish our first apartment, pretty much. We went to a consignment store. All the furniture that we had in our first apartment came from a consignment store. And even when we moved into our house, we brought everything from our apartment to the house, and some of the stuff we still have. Like we still have the futon that we had in the living room. We still use that to this day, and it's like we've been married for 11 years, dating 13 years. So the futon is like 11 years old, and we still have it. We still have our bed, our original bed from when we had our apartment. We don't buy any. We've never had a brand new car. We don't buy a car unless it's at least 6, 7, maybe even older. Like right now it's 2024, and my wife has a 2010. I have a 2012. We don't have any brand new cars. We don't spend a lot. Like we budget super heavily into budgeting. Disillusional with corporate life. Some people become disillusioned with the corporate world and choose to opt out, even if it means making financial sacrifices. I've never worked in a corporate, so I don't really have any experience with it. So my first job ever was at Taco Bell, and then from Taco Bell I went to Burger King while I was still in school. And from there, I went to the military. I worked at the prison, and then I worked at Michelin. So that's pretty much all my job history. Unexpected opportunity, a unique opportunity like extended travel or a chance to pursue a lifelong dream might arise, prompting someone to take early retirement. And that was me with the military. Because of the military, I was allowed to retire early. I'm thankful for it.